All right. Well, here we go. We have a lot of questions from our audience who, the first one starts out with this person, Barbara, who says, my husband, well, no, is incense wrong? That's the question, to burn incense.
Well, I tell you, most incense burning is done to idols. I've seen people over in Taiwan, for example, they're sitting in Buddhist temples burning little sticks and burning incense. And it's a way of worshiping idols. But at the same time, incense was part of the worship of God. So I don't see anything wrong with lighting a stick of incense and having it burning to give you fragrance in your house, if that's what you're doing. But if it's part of some heathen worship, of course it's wrong. All right.
Okay. Barbara writes in, and she says, my husband bought a car in 2006 without asking me. We still have not paid it off, and we've not stopped fighting about it. Our payment is over $400 a month. Since he did this, we've not been able to pay our bills on time. I'm so tired of fighting. What do you suggest, Pat?
I don't know. Have him go to Dr. Phil. Have him see whatever that woman is on television. He needs help. You know, they talk about their inner child, and that's what it is. The inner child wants to have a sports car, wants to have a fancy car, and they want to splurge, and they don't have any control over money. And there are many men that this way, and women who just don't care. There was some wife of a guy I knew down in Texas who was always overdrawn. And she said, I'm not overdrawn, I'm underdeposited. Well, I mean, it was just the way it was.
Yeah.
So this guy is out of control, and it's the inner child speaking. And I suggest you take what car's left and sell it, and take the proceeds and pay it, and then you'll have a little bit less to pay, and you'll pay it down. But this is a crushing burden on your finances if you have to. If it's $400, $500 a month and you have a limited budget. So what do you do? Well, your husband needs some retraining, but just recognize the fact you married him, honey. That's just the way it is. And okay.
Should I put my 2 cents in or go to the next question?
If you're nice.
No, I'm really nice. You ready for my 2 cents?
Okay, 2 cents.
The one thing I realize in marriage is that sometimes people just make mistakes and they make bad decisions.
Yes.
So rather than fight about the bad decision all the time, sometimes it's cool to say, you know what, it was a bad decision, honey, I'm so sorry. How can we work as a team to resolve this issue? So rather than fight for the next, 8 more years, you just say, okay, bad decision, bad choice, let's work together, get this bad boy paid off, and let's walk in harmony.
So mature.
Doesn't it sound good and holy?
It does. Oh, mature and holy. I'm impressed.
You see my Christian wings growing?
They do.
And the halo?
It's there. All right.
All right, Jen says, my boyfriend and I have been together for 8 years and have 2 kids together. Will God ever forgive me for not being married and living with my boyfriend? We can't afford to get married.
What do you mean you can't afford to get married? I mean, for whoever you can afford to live together.
Right.
Why can't you afford it? You think some sort of a tax penalty or something? Why can't you afford it? You're going to lose some benefit? I mean, what's better, the money or sin? I mean, if you're going to displease God, or are you going to have a few bucks taken away because of some payment? I don't know why you can't afford it, because normally 2 can live better together if they support one another, and it looks like that's what's happening. So you, in a sense, have a type of marriage, but it isn't really marriage. So why don't you go do it and stop feeling guilty? And it'll open up a whole new world. Can the Lord forgive you? Of course he can forgive you. You need to ask him, though, but you can't keep on doing the same thing that you feel guilty. If our hearts condemn us not, then we have confidence before God, But if our hearts condemn us, God's greater than our heart. And your heart is telling you you're doing something wrong. So stop it. Why take yourself into torment when that could all be settled? You can't afford it. Of course you can afford it. What's nice?
Okay. Tommy says, how do you show your gay son the love of Jesus when you know his sexual preference is an abomination to God?
Well, you can love, they say you love the sinner and hate the sin, but I think what you've got to do is love him, and you're his father. And you want to say, look, I don't agree with what you're doing. You can always say that, but I love you as you're my son. You came from my body. You're part of me, and I'm with you. But I'd like you to get out of this. And I know people disagree in the question of homosexuality. Is it something that they're born with? Is it something that's acquired? I think a lot of it is acquired. I don't know all the genes or the genetics that's in your son as to what's causing him to do whatever he's doing, but you'll have to figure that one out. But normally speaking, a person who has acquired this can unacquire it. And they can, we've had many people who have indeed left the homosexual lifestyle and gone into a heterosexual relationship and been very, very happy. So, but all I can say is love the Son, and show him what you consider a better way.